Okay. I was immediately told that there's going to be ancestral messages coming through in this reading and to expect it. So we're starting off pretty strong here with this. Wow. My protection oil that I sometimes put on when I'm doing a lot of readings in a day just like went all over the place. Interesting, because we also have, this card was standing out to me, and it's the 5. Oh, I lost it. Okay, never mind. Interesting. Distractions. Lack of routines coming through with this collective. But before we get into it, let me just do a really quick, because their spirit's already here. Prayer. I'm hearing enough is enough. You need to move on, you need to move up, and you need to move forward. That's what I'm hearing. Enough is enough. Stop making excuses. Stop thinking that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy enough. Because this collective, you absolutely are. Oh. I was also told, stop using that deck. Don't use that deck. Well, I kind of want to use this deck, though. What deck am I supposed to use then? Oldie decks are goodie decks, apparently, so that's what we're going to go with. Damn, I really wanted to use the other deck, though. Some of you might also be getting messages from spirit or from like your ancestors, or even maybe from some family members that are still living, where you're like, I really don't want to take that advice. And you're being told, well, whether you take it or not, that's the advice you're going to need to take. And this collective is really like a little bit resistant to that energy, to that message that's there. I do also find it interesting that with this collective, it's almost like you needed more protection. Like your ancestors are really there protecting you, because this collective, I feel like, has dealt with some spiritual or psychic or maybe even like mental or emotional like onslaught of manipulation and not so great energies coming at them. Okay, and so there's almost this I have this protection oil that I put on sometimes, and there's almost this type of energy with this collective of, oh, you have extra protection, you've got backup, right? You've got backup. This collective has really gone and done the shadow work and done the nitty gritty, I call it, the nitty gritty work, right? We start off with this star card coming up here, right? And this is kind of the energy that this collective is embodying right now, is this star. This card comes out after the Tower, and it's after we've had to like really reevaluate ourselves, and we've really been stripped down as people. And it's a card that is really asking us, what is it that you really want? What is your real purpose? What are you really here for? What is it you really want? What is the accomplishment, the thing, the legacy that you want to leave behind? What is that? You know, get real with yourself. Get real with yourself. I'm actually told to take that card, and that's the 8 of Swords. And this card here, the 8 of Swords, is, what is it that you're not looking at? Where are your blind spots with this collective? Where are your blind spots? Right? The star energy is asking you to really highlight that. Really highlight those blind spots. These energies that you're not looking at, these situations you haven't been completely honest with yourself about. Where's those blind spots? What is it that is coming to fruition? Okay? And what about that is scaring you? What about this energy is giving you a sense of fear? You have started this journey because we've got the moon in reverse. So I can tell that you guys have started to uncover some stuff. Some of you have uncovered some like secrets. Some of you have uncovered some certain types of energy, things of this nature. But there's still a level of fear that's there. There's a level of indecision, a level of fear, a level of I'm not really sure what the next step is still. And that usually is indicative that there's more to uncover. Okay, it's usually indicative when you start uncovering or unraveling layers of a situation, whatever that situation might be. Usually it's indicative that there's more to it, that there's more that needs to be had, that there's more that you need to break down, and that there's limitations that you're not looking at or you're not acknowledging that you need to be focusing a little bit more on. Okay, and that's where things like journaling or shadow work, sometimes you don't need to go through, I don't know why I feel like they need to say this. Some of this collective, I feel like they're like, oh, I've been doing shadow work forever. Sometimes just doing a good journal session, going out for a little bit of a walk and then sitting down in the middle of nowhere and doing like a good journal session, and also just letting go of all those emotions that you've had and saying like enough is enough, like, and just letting yourself feel and letting yourself be without judgment, without anger, without needing to worry about what others are going to think or any of that, right? Things of that nature. Some of you might have been working on healing your childhood when the Six of Cups comes up. Okay, the past. What in the past do you need to heal? What in the past do you need to do differently? Some of you are also breaking past contracts or karmic contracts. Okay, and some of you also are learning how to start asking for help. Some of you are learning that it's okay to ask for help. Some of you are learning that it's okay to collaborate, that it's okay to celebrate. And celebration doesn't need to be these big events. Celebration can also just be, I made it through this week that was really, really, really difficult. And look at all that I accomplished in this 1 week that was super difficult. Okay, it doesn't need to be these really large events, these really large things going on here. Some of you might also have been feeling really nostalgic lately. Okay, there's a sense of nostalgia that I'm getting, especially again, as I'm looking at this Six of Cups, I'm really getting a feeling again of nostalgia, trying to stop things or doing things that you used to do in your childhood, right? Doing things that you used to do that used to bring you that joy when you were a kid. Okay. Almost as like an ending of a passage is kind of what I'm saying here. Ending of a passage and moving forward. It's funny I said that, and then the Eight of Cups shows up as I'm talking about ending a passage, like ending like this rite of passage, like it's finishing off, right? You're transitioning. You've also got the Knight of Cups coming. There's a lot of cup energy, a lot of water energy, a lot of cup energy. Even the star here is kind of, this card also is like with the water and the cup. It's not really a cup. I don't know what you call that. It's also giving me a lot of that cup energy. There's been a lot of emotional upheaval with this collective here that you didn't want to look at. A lot of very emotional situations that you tried to avoid that eventually you realized you couldn't avoid any longer. And you had to see situations, you had to see people, you had to see things, you had to see events for what they actually were. And it's almost like now you're walking away. There's a reading that I did earlier in the month that some of this collective might resonate with as well. Especially if you've been dealing with a situation that has involved some sort of infidelity. And that's all I'm going to say there on that. There's a lot of questioning going on. What's this one? Yeah. Okay. There is a lot of questioning going on with this collective. Like, You guys are questioning your structures, you're questioning your upbringing, you're questioning your beliefs, you're questioning choices you've made, you're questioning paths you've taken, you're questioning your mentality, you're questioning certain philosophies that you previously believed in, you're questioning relationships that you've had. There's a lot of this questioning type of energy, and questioning isn't bad, provided that it's not leading to self-doubt. That's the warning here. Questioning itself is fine. You're allowed to question. And again, I think this is also why I keep wanting to say to journal, to write it out, to express it in some way, to break it down and express it in some way, because by doing that, you're going to really get to the root of all of these questions. Some of you, this is like deep philosophical type of questions you've got regarding life and death and religion and, you know, consciousness and communication. Okay. You know, because of things, you know, questioning how, you know, oh, was I consciously making these decisions that I was making, or was I subtly being manipulated? You know, questioning your intuition, questioning these things. And don't let the questioning become obsession. Okay, don't let it become this obsessive anxiety inducing scenario. When it does, that's when you're being called to go back and be nice to your inner child. That's when you're being called to go back and nurture this type of energy and look into the nostalgia and look into the positive and look into and find this innocence again. Okay, because you're not going to find answers, and you're not going to even be able to confidently and clearly change how you approach future situations in a similar type of aspect. Like I'm honestly feeling like there was something to do with a relationship of sorts, like some sort of like almost long-term relationship, and you're not going to be able to make those next steps if you're just in this over-analyzing, anxiety-ridden state. Okay? Like it's not going to serve you. You're not going to find the things, the answers, the solutions even that you're looking for. Yeah, the pathless. Difficult decisions, lack of direction, being a little all over the place, not having, you know, a set mindset, not having a set understanding, right? Not having really a direction, being ungrounded as well. Like this collective energy is really not grounded, because you can't be grounded when you're in an emotional upheaval. Naturally, you're not going to be in a grounded state. You're not going to be in a grounded state if you're grieving. You're not going to be in a grounded state if you're in an emotional upheaval. You're not going to be in a grounded state if you're lacking this understanding. You're lacking this awareness. You're lacking these things. These shifts in mindsets, right? But in order to embody these shifts, you need to reground your energy into the new, solid, grounded reality that you want to be in, that you want to shift into. Yeah, we got the Shepherd, celebration, family, renewal, rejuvenation. This also gives me death vibes because of like the skull. It reminds me of the death card, which is all about transformation. For some of you, there might have been an actual death, and that's why we have so much emotional upheaval. And if that's the case, I am like extraordinarily sorry for your loss, because any sort of passing can be really, really difficult on us on so many levels. But it also deals with regeneration and rejuvenation and transformation. And through these not nice processes, we tend to learn a lot about ourselves, and we also learn a lot about other people. Right? A lot of lessons can be learned based on how others respond in really tragic or stressful circumstances. Right? The way they talk, or the beliefs they hold, or the judgments they hold can all say a lot about other people. in your life when there is any sort of emotional turmoil of any sort that is going on. Okay. Be mindful of the liver, healing the liver as well. I'm just looking at some of these herbs here, and one of these leaves reminds me of dandelion, which is a good like liver support herb. It's actually a good body support herb. It's also good for your blood. It's also good for a lot of things. So be mindful of anger, resentment that you hold. That also will weaken the liver. It can also weaken the kidneys, right? Inheritance correction. Yeah, so for those of you who've recently lost someone where you might be gaining an inheritance, and again, this might be where this, why I was talking about holding these vibration of anger and envy within the liver and the kidney through the dandelion and dandelion medicine, is if you have people who think that you're not worthy of an inheritance, or you're not worthy of what's given to you, or you're not worthy of what you are receiving, right? You're going to receive and hold that energy, even if it's not your own energy. Sometimes it's not that we're the ones that have that energy ourselves. We're not the ones that are envious. We're not the ones that are angry. It's that we're holding that energy that other people have directed out of us. That might also be why you have your ancestors here as well. Definitely healing going on. Yeah, you're definitely getting something. There's definitely some sort of finances or some sort of material thing that you're getting that others are not happy that you're getting. You have other people in your life that are not satisfied with the fact that they feel like you don't deserve the things that you are receiving. These same people, though, I want to say, they're also the type of people where they're not seeing the full picture. Okay, these people are also the type of people, they're not seeing everything that you have done. They're not seeing their eye is closed. Yours is open and theirs is closed. They haven't seen all that you've done, right? They're not seeing, they're seeing that you're sitting and that you're doing, this, and it seems like, right? And some of this also is naturally just this collective's energy, where just naturally you make things seem a little bit easy. You naturally seem like you're always in this chill state. You're always like, yeah, everything's cool. Not a problem. Just doing my thing over here, living my life. It's all good, And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not berating that type of mentality. I think more of us need to have that type of mentality to some degree. But judgmental and jealous and envious people, when they look at that, tend to look at it in a state of, well, they're not doing anything. Look at them. They're so chilled all the time. Look at them. They're just sitting. Oh, look at them. They're just filming YouTube videos. Oh, look at them. They're just doing whatever. They're on social media, and they don't see the work and the healing and the underlying things that have gone on. They're not tuned into that at all. It's interesting. I just went to get a drink of water and I actually forgot to fill this water bottle up. So there's nothing left. There's nothing left to give. Right? There's nothing left to give. There's nothing further. There's no more for you to give at that point. Right? This also could be, by the way, that there's people around this collective that are takers. Okay, these are people that take and take and take and take and take, and they want more and more and more and more and more. And these people tend to always have an excuse. They tend to always have some sort of, drama that's going on. They tend to have some sort of thing that's always going on, and they need to take and they need to take and they need to take, and they expect you that you're going to be the one to provide that. And it's almost like this collective has turned around and been like, yeah, I ain't doing that anymore. It's like you've walked away from that type of energy because it's not serving you, and you're like, I'm done. I'm not taking part of this anymore. Like, this is what you get. Just this. I was giving all of this, and now this is what you get. This one cup. All these 8 cups, I'm not giving you that no more. You're only getting this 1 cup. And if that's not going to be sufficient enough for you, there's the door. Don't let it hit your ulcer on the way out. Okay? It's like you're giving this, like, you're healing this. You're healing this energy. The snake is a highly misunderstood creature. The snake is. I love snakes, by the way. And the snake is a highly misunderstood creature. And it's one that a lot of people fear because of misunderstanding. Because it is a misunderstood creature. But it's also an animal of great healing on so many levels, right? One of the amazing things about snakes is that snakes are technically deaf. And they hear through vibration. They hear things through vibration. They feel things through vibration. And that's kind of this energy of this collective is you're working on the vibration of people and not what they're saying. It's the vibration that so-and-so or these people or this group of people is giving and not what they are claiming to give, not what they are saying that they give, right? It's really interesting because there's just silence now. I've had like these voices like this. I know I sound crazy, but hear me out. I've had like this like voices of like people's ancestors and what you should do, and my guides were all in the back. And then I kind of was talking just about healing and about you're focusing on just the vibration and not on what it is. And it was just boom. Everyone has shut up now. That's it. There's no more there. You're done. That's it. That's all there is. Which I find really interesting. That might be a message for someone as well, but I'm going to leave it for those of you who watch this to determine. Yeah, I'm leaving it there. It's not a nice wrap up to a video the way I try to do it, but that's just how I'm going to leave it. That's how I'm being told to leave it. That's how they're showing me to leave it. So that's how I'm going to do it. And yeah, until next time. Bye for now.